Hello, everybody, and welcome to the awaited, the fated, the Emoji Movie Review. I am Monkey Jones, and as always, I am joined by Mr. E. Rich.
Hello, everyone. I am here, unfortunately.
Are you a meh emoji right now? Is that what I hear?
I am the nothingness emoji.
Oh,
Is there such a thing?
that might just be the meh emoji. I don't know.
Meh, okay. Cease to
I
exist.
E. Rich, E. Rich, just to get started, I gotta get something off my chest here, E. Rich.
Yeah.
I gotta peel back the curtain, and this is going to be the episode of the show where people give up on Monkey Jones and say I can never listen to anything he ever says again.
This is the point of no
Because
return right here.
it really is. Because yesterday you and we were talking about this, and I said, you know what would be funny, Rich? Let's do a meme. Let's just troll the audience. Let's go see the Emoji Movie, and then you give like an honest review. And I'll
Mm-hmm.
spend the whole time praising it and saying it's the best thing ever, as like a joke, as a meme. But now, now that I've actually seen it, I don't want to do that anymore because I actually don't have a problem with the movie and I want to sing its praises all day.
You have seen into the abyss. You have looked away. You've opened up the entirety of possibility. And unfortunately for you, it's exactly what you said it was going to be.
Erich, allow me to describe to you why it is an atrocity that the
Mm-hmm.
Emoji Movie carries a 0% aggregate score
I believe
on
it's
Rotten
3%
Tomatoes.
right now.
Well, hey, that's good. It's a
There
step
have
in the
been
right
one or
direction.
two positive reviews, maybe just one.
Allow me to paint you a picture, a nice comparison, so you can sort of get into my mindset here. We both liked the movie Dunkirk, right?
Absolutely.
Now imagine if on Rotten Tomatoes, every single review of Dunkirk was done by a 13-year-old girl. Do you think it would still have a 90%? Probably not, right?
It probably have like a 60 to 70%.
It's almost like Dunkirk isn't a movie that was made for 13-year-old girls. But then, now, some company makes a movie that is targeted at 5 and 6-year-old children. But you go to Rotten Tomatoes, I don't see a single review from a 5-year-old. I see a bunch of reviews from not the target audience. Do I care what a fucking 50-year-old man has to say about a movie made for 5-year-olds? Who gives a shit? The movie has 0% because they're not asking kids, the target audience, what they fucking thought of the movie. Who gives a fuck what some guy who shouldn't be seeing the movie has to say about it? It's disgusting, which is why I think there should legitimately be a Rotten Tomatoes for kids where like parents record their children talking about children's films. So then, hey, oh, well, I want to take my 5-year-old to go see this movie. I know I'm not gonna like it, but this movie's not for me. I wonder if it's any good. Oh, 0%. I guess I'll make him watch fucking Frozen again at home. Who cares what the adults think? I want to know if a kid is gonna like this movie, because my theater was chock full of fucking kids. There was a big cardboard display out in the lobby, and so this family was making a whole day of it. The mom and the two daughters were posing in front of the cardboard display. They were smiling, taking pictures, laughing, having fun. In the theater, the kids were laughing. They loved the poop emoji. They thought it was hilarious. They were dancing to the fucking Just Dance scene. The kids loved it. But you look online, the critics will make you think it's the worst movie ever made when it's not. It's inoffensive. It's actually funny. A lot of the humor is the kind of humor that I love, and I'm going to get into all this, but it pisses me off that hating this movie and thinking it's the worst thing ever made has become such a meme. Everybody's jumping on the bandwagon without even seeing the movie, just based on what, like some promotional trailers and shit. They're like, oh, it's based on emojis. It must be literally cancer. It must be the worst thing ever made. I bet it's such a cynical approach to think, oh, this movie just has to be the worst. I want to jump on the meme bandwagon and hate it blindly. Blind hatred without even considering that maybe it's not as offensive and gross as you might think.
All right. Well, okay. Here, I'll break it down this way. I certainly agree with you when you say this is not the worst movie ever, or that this is not terrible. It is not terrible. But I despise this movie for not being terrible.
Why do you despise it?
It is like a 3 out of 10, right down the middle. There is nothing worth seeing about this movie. There are bad movies that can be enjoyable because they're bad, because they're poorly made. This is a very like well animated movie. I mean, it's bright, it's colorful, uh, but I resent everything about this movie. I resent
Why?
everyone who starred in it because it is the absolute peak of mediocrity. It
I don't think so. I
says
really don't
nothing.
think
It
so.
means nothing.
I've
It
seen
is
a
not.
lot of animated children's films that are way worse than this. And this is a movie that actually made me laugh. Unlike Diary of a Wimpy Kid: The Long Haul, shitty kids movie. It's not good for anybody. I even think that kids. I don't understand why a kid would like that. But this movie, even as an adult, I was laughing at a lot of the stupid puns because I love stupid puns. I love stupid jokes. I legitimately think that if somebody took an edit of this movie, if this movie comes out on DVD, I implore somebody to take a slide whistle sound effect and put it after every stupid pun to really just give it that fucking punch. I think people will really enjoy the movie more because it's my style, it's my brand of stupid fucking humor, dumb puns, like especially with Patrick Stewart as the poop emoji. Like it's just the most base stupid puns that I love. And if you just throw a slide whistle on there, I think this movie will be more appreciated. I think people want to assume that the film has no sense of self-awareness and that's why they hate it, but that's not true. And the slide whistle would really accentuate the self-awareness that these people are refusing to see with their blinders. And plus, this movie is red-pilled as fuck on multiple occasions. I think it ascends mediocrity. I think it's just a little bit better than mediocrity.
All right.
I'm very
My
passionate about the Emoji Movie. And
Yes,
if this is the hill I have to die on, baby, I'll fucking die on it.
My theatrical experience is in direct contradiction to your own. I think if you were to be transplanted to my theater, you would be the person that was laughing the most. There were probably like
I
10
was
to
the person
15
laughing the most in my theater.
okay. There were 10 to 15 kids in my theater. I'm used to seeing movies with kids in the theater there, and you can kind of tell when they're into the movie or out of the movie. They were out of this movie for most of it. There were laughs occasionally, but it was nowhere near any other like kids movie or something where you'd think that kids would be really enjoying themselves and giggling and talking to their parents and stuff like that. It was not that at all. Nearly quiet for the entire thing. I maybe cracked a smile once. The rest of the time, I had a
Oh, you fuck.
no.
You didn't laugh
I'm being
at the movie at
completely.
all?
I'm being completely honest with you. I maybe cracked a smile once. The rest, it was either grimace or just straight faced. I found this movie just completely meh. It is meh. It is
I
just
think if
bleh.
because my favorite characters in the film were the main guy's parents, the parent meh emojis, and I think if you just cut all of their scenes into like a 10-minute short film, it would be praised as like a really funny short film. Because something about having a bunch of characters who are one note, like people always say, "Oh, every fucking character has to have so many dimensions if I'm gonna like this piece of shit." No, no. Having a wide array of one-note characters opens you up to so many like stupid, great jokes that I really enjoy. Like, Sir Patrick Stewart's character was just poop. There's 10 good stupid poop puns. And that's all you need. I don't need the poop character to have dimensions, but the Mac characters. Seeing these characters who are literally one note and just no matter what's happening, they have the same like bored, sort of like they're depressed expressions, and like the way that they speak. I don't know who the actor was who played the mad dad, but it was very funny to me. I just really like especially those two characters, and if they just cut it into like a short film, if they took the two mad parents and just made them the movie and it was like 8 minutes, and somebody released it saying, "Hey, look at this new Pixar short film." I don't think too many people would be like, "Oh, no, there's no way Pixar made that." Because, like, Toy Story, those movies are just like dumb toy puns the whole time. I don't think there's really much of a difference.
Your abuse of the word "good" might be one of the problems that I have most with
Well,
what you're
because
saying.
when I say a joke is bad
Uh-huh.
and good at the same time, like, I think stupid jokes are just as funny as, like, genuinely good jokes because they make me laugh just as hard, so what's the difference?
If I can find a joke in a shitty $2 joke book that you could find at any fucking yard sale or something, I would not categorize that as good. And you saying that you could cut out a portion of this movie and call it like a short film that would play in front of another movie, it doesn't matter because it's in this movie, which is 75 to 90 minutes long. And for the runtime of this movie, it does not work within the narrative of that.
But everything around, like, what I was talking about isn't bad either. Like, yeah, it's sure it's mediocre on that level, but then there's so many other good things that I enjoyed that stack on top of that mediocrity that makes me think it's the peak of it sticks out of mediocrity just a little bit. People really are cynical about the movie and think it was like a cash grab, pure and simple. It wanted to like embrace, a smartphone culture and like be like a love letter to it for some fucking reason. Like, oh, look how great Candy Crush is in texting. But the movie makes fun of this shit the whole time. Like, the opening scene, TJ Miller has he's being serious, but it's very clearly sarcastic, where he says, the most important thing for a high school freshman, their cell phone. And it shows two fucking kids walking towards each other, texting, and they fucking run into each other and fall over. It's like, yeah, kids these days with their phones are fucking retarded zombie robots. That's some funny shit. Or when they go into the Facebook app, and everybody's just, like, talking about, like, what they're eating for breakfast and all this dumb shit. And he's like, oh, wow, yeah, those people sure are talking about themselves. Like, yeah, that's funny to me. That's great. That's awesome.
That to me is just the most boring, nothing social commentary shit that I would expect out of a movie called The Emoji Movie. I think this movie could have been better if it had meh be actually meh, rather than... Because basically, I had read interviews by TJ Miller basically saying that he with this movie, he wants to snap people out of this meh style of thinking where you basically approach everything with this like detached, you don't care, you're above it all type thing. That's not what this movie was saying at all, because Matt was being pushed into this box by the society around him. That's not, I think, what TJ Miller was saying really at all. He must be reading very deeply into this just bland movie.
I think reading deeply at all is a huge mistake, because I legitimately think it's a movie made for 5-year-olds that have a bunch of silly puns in it and some jokes that the parents will enjoy, and that's it. I'm not looking for depth. I don't need this to be Wreck-It Ralph. I keep hearing comparisons to Wreck-It Ralph. I don't give a fuck about Wreck-It Ralph. I don't care. It doesn't need to be deep like Toy Story. I just wanted some stupid fucking jokes in a bright animated movie that if I have a 5-year-old, they'll sit down and watch it and enjoy it, and that's what I got. If you're expecting something deep from the Emoji Movie, go watch something else.
I think my problem with that is that you could find anything like this in the bargain bin of any Kmart or Walmart or anything like that.
I don't think so. I've seen things that are way worse. I've seen children's animated films that are way worse.
Can you give some examples?
I don't fucking know their names. My cousin has a 3 or 4-year-old daughter, and every time I would go over, she'd be watching like the worst shit that Netflix has to offer. Shit that, like, I don't even know if a human being made it. It looks like it was made by machines. And, like, it's just terrible in every way. The animation is ugly and awful. There aren't even jokes. Like, it doesn't even try to have stupid puns that I would enjoy. It's just awful. There's like, it's entertainment. It's fine.
No, but this is a multi-million-dollar movie from Sony Animation Studios. Like, having said all of those words, that should mean something. It shouldn't just be
what should
that
it
kind
mean?
of throwaway. Okay, so let me just compare it real quick. The little short that played in front of this movie, which I guess is connected to the Hotel Transylvania series.
All I know about that is that the vampire goth daughter, Adam Sandler's daughter, is super fucking hot, and I want to watch those movies now just because I like that character.
Okay, so I have never seen those movies before in my life. I've never had any like impression that they were any good or that I should. However, just watching that short, I thought it was very well done for what it was, and it's done by Genndy Tartakovsky, who is a great animation guru. He directs a shitload of great 2D animated stuff, and he's done this 3D stuff now. So, but I saw a lot of depth in the animation where it, even though it was 3D, it was oftentimes framed or played like it was in 2D, and the expressiveness that I like to see from Genndy Tartakovsky's characters were in that short. Despite the fact that it's a fucking Adam Sandler vehicle or whatever, I saw some value in there. There were some interesting details to the animation. The characters were clearly drawn, even just in the fucking 2 minutes that animated short was. I got something from it. I got way
My
more
problem
from
with the
that little
short was
short.
that it was a 3 act structure that it ended in Act Two. I was like, okay, how does this end? I guess it doesn't.
But it's a short. It doesn't have to have
Oh,
like
a story doesn't have to have an ending.
if you want to have a fully fleshed out, crazy, awesome Pixar short, fine. There are plenty of those. But for a kind of side along uh, companion to these Hojo's Transylvania movies, which I've never seen, they had me interested enough because of the style of the animation. The voice acting was fine, I guess. And just generally, it looked fun. This movie does not look fun. It is not interesting. It is a big nothing. And if it were bad, I could take consolation in that. I could say, oh, well, this is fun because it's so bad. This was just boring and bland and mediocre and just nothing. I think that's why critics are reacting to it so negatively. And I think a lot of the reviews here are 1 out of 5, 1.5 out of 5, that kind of rating. I think that's pretty true to life. It is a 3 to 4 out of 10 movie that makes no solid impression. Look, I resent you. I resent myself. I resent Sony Animation, anyone who was involved in the making of this movie, because the idea itself, sure, is bad. But you know what other idea was bad? The Lego Movie. And the Lego Movie is a fucking great movie. I resent these studios for pouring millions and millions of dollars into these movies and then pushing out mediocre trash that doesn't have to be trash.
I think it just comes down to a difference in what people think is funny.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that the movie was genuinely funny. I thought there were a lot of stupid jokes that I enjoyed. I guess I've said that 100 times so far. But the big takeaway I want people to have is that I'm not recommending the movie. If that's what it seems like I'm doing, you're wrong. I'm not recommending it. Don't go see it. If someone says, "Oh, I'm going to rent this on Redbox. Do you want to watch it?" No. Don't fucking watch it because it's not for you. It's for me because I have the sense of humor of a literal child. So yeah, it's for me. But what I'm saying is, hating the movie is a fucking meme. Hating on it for what it is, sure. But then the actual movie itself, it's not as bad as all the meme controversy wants you to think. It's just fine for little kids. A 5-year-old kid can't understand the depth of story arcs and structure in something like Toy Story anyway because they're a fucking little kid. So, like, to them, it doesn't matter. Like, we appreciate that kind of stuff because our brains are developed and we can actually have thoughts. But when you're like a little fucking kid, it's all just like bright colors and poop jokes. And it's just fine for a little kid in that regard. So I would say, like, if you have a young child or you're babysitting or some shit, don't be afraid to put this on for them because it's not offensive, it's not bad, it's just fine.
Yeah, so we're getting into our final kind of thoughts here for the review.
Yeah.
This movie is not worth conjuring up emotion for. People who
Fuck
hate it
you!
or spend their time writing so terribly negative reviews of it, that is also wasteful. Yeah. People who love this movie, which I can't imagine there are many actual people. I don't consider children to be people because they have not developed.
I'm not
enough.
even saying that I love the movie. I'm just angry that there is such a fucking bandwagon effect in play where everybody thinks it's the cool, hip thing to hate on this movie when it shouldn't be at all. This movie, like, nobody should even be talking about the movie in the first place because it's just fine.
Well,
it's not even worth talking about, but I have to because I have to counterbalance this fucking torrent of hatred that it doesn't deserve.
It's confirmation bias in effect. They went in saying, oh, the Emoji movie, that's going to be shit. When they saw a movie they did not like, that only confirmed what they had thought beforehand, and they're only going to reproduce the exact things they thought beforehand. And all of their reviews... Look, critics have to see most movies, and they have a much wider range of comparison to make. I think even something like fucking Ice Age has more to say. So, like, a critic who looks at a movie like Ice Age and says, that's about the middle of what animated movies can do. It is not Food Fight, which is on the low scale of animated movies that is like an abortion of an animated movie. And it's not something like Toy Story, where it is kind of the top tier of what you can do with animated movies. This is on the lower end of middle, but it's still in the fucking middle. And I just have nothing else to say about it. I wasted my time watching
I'm on
this.
your side with that one. It's a movie that's in the middle that everybody thinks is at the bottom, and that's my problem with it.
But I can see the side of it's not even bad enough to be bad or interesting in its badness. It's just
I think it is
mediocre.
because let me tell you the emotional experience I had in the theater during the Just Dance scene when I realized that the two emojis on screen were falling in love because they were playing the Just Dance app together. There were almost tears welling up in my eyes because it was just the fucking stupidest thing I've ever seen in a theater, and that's why like I was so moved by how dumb it was, and I enjoyed it for that.
If you will look down at your phone and see emojis, and then your idea of a good time is to look onto the screen and see emojis, this movie is for you. Because you will go throughout this movie saying, oh, I know that one! I've seen that one before! The eggplant emoji! Isn't the eggplant emoji a fucking dick?
But
Isn't that what the entire
how's that
fucking
any
joke
different
is?
from like Toy Story, where you got the little army men doing army man things, and like it's the same kind of
But
thing.
there's
Like
so little of that.
something that
Almost
everybody
all of
knows
the
about, and you
toys
just
in
make
Toy
silly
Story
puns
are-
about it.
Almost all the toys in Toy Story are made up toys.
No, they're not.
Almost all. The fucking aliens weren't a thing before then.
Or like the
fucking
piggy bank,
Woody,
where it's just like they
Buzz.
make like ham puns to him, or Mr. Potato Head, where all the jokes are that his parts
Slinky
come
Dog was
apart.
not a fucking real dog before Toy Story made him. Like,
Well,
I mean,
after the first one, he was, and then they did the same jokes in Toy Story 2 and 3. Like, what's your point?
that movie had so much more spirit and heart. And
Yeah, it did. It had that depth that makes it like a genuinely good film, but the base level of silly puns are what I enjoy also, and this movie provided plenty of that with things
Monkey,
that people recognize.
If this movie invented entirely new emojis that then people would use afterwards, you would have an argument here. But like, this
What the
is
fuck
all
are you
just
talking
shit.
about? Who cares
But
if they made new emojis? Who
You were
cares?
saying that the
point
army
is the
men-
puns are funny because we recognize these stupid things. Like, oh, it's a world where there's a guy who is always happy. There's a guy who is always poop. There's a guy who is always the fucking American flag. Let's make jokes about like them interacting and doing shit on their daily lives. Okay, let's make stupid, silly puns that Mumkey will laugh at because he's a fucking child.
And to me, the Lego movie did the same exact thing and actually had some wit to it.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Lego movie is a great movie, and it's 100 times better than this movie, but I still don't think that this is as bad as everybody says.
I think people can hate things more for being mediocre or for being just bland than, yeah, I don't know.
That's a waste of hatred. We need to invest our hatred in something that deserves it, like Donald Trump.
Blumpkins BTFO.
Did you see the thing I retweeted today of how of George Takei tweeted about how Trump
Literally
is the
put into
worst
internment
president,
camps.
the most hateful, evil president of all time, and then some guy replied, "FDR literally puts you in an internment camp, you fucking idiot."
Recency bias has a lot to do with that.
Yeah, speaking of recency bias, I'm hoping that in a month I never have to hear about the Emoji Movie again. I hope it'll just everybody will forget about it, and the last whole year of controversy about everybody wanting to hate the movie, I hope it fades away completely because I never want to hear about this shit ever again. It was blown way out of proportion. This film and all the controversy around it is the literal definition of Much Ado About Nothing.
Luckily for you, and the best part of this movie is it will disappear from any kind of conversation. It will litter store shelves for years to come, but if you don't look at it, it doesn't exist. And so any web page that has the information about it, that is all that it will be. Can I just talk about TJ Miller and his brain damage for a second?
Yeah, go ahead.
TJ Miller at some point in his life had some form of brain damage, and in some small way, it changed his personality. That is the only way I could see someone champion this movie and say, this is the new fun thing that we
Do you
should
think
be
I have brain
paying attention
damage,
to.
Rich?
No, but you didn't take part in the Emoji Movie.
I
The
wish
only
I would
way,
have. I would have loved to be a part of this masterpiece.
the only way that you took part in the Emoji Movie was to fucking get me to see it. So fuck you, monkey.
And I'm the only critic on the entire internet who said, you know what, maybe this movie isn't worse than Hitler. So there you go.
Actually, no.
I guess I'm a huge contrarian because I said that the mediocre movie is just slightly above mediocre and it's not a steaming pile of shit.
Betsy Bosdeck at Common Sense Media says, positive messages, but colorful adventure is only meh. Original score 3 out of 5.
And I don't even agree with that because I don't give a fuck about the lessons you learn from a children's film. I just want to be entertained for 80 minutes.
You just want to feel this moment, monkey?
Yes, I just want to feel this moment.
Oh god, the fucking pop music in this movie just makes my brain hurt. Ugh.
Okay, Rich, what should we talk about next time? I got time to go see movies this weekend.
Well, Atomic Blonde just came out.
You know
I
what?
really like that.
You said that you're seeing 4 movies this weekend, so you go see all
Yes.
those and then tell me which one I should go see.
Yes, this was one of them. I'll tell you if, Valerian is any good.
Oh, god damn it. I'd rather go see Ghost Story. Let's go see Ghost Story.
Yeah, I am going to see Ghost Story with our brother, Casey Affleck. He's welcome to join us here on this podcast anytime he wants.
I know Casey Affleck, you're a huge fan of Visit Kino. If you want to jump on, just shoot me up on Twitter, dude.
Yeah, get under your ghost sheet and come join us.
All right. Well, this is the video that made me lose any sense of respect or see, what are the words of things that I will lose after uploading this video? Everybody's going to think I'm a fucking something.
I'm sure there will be people who defend
All
you.
credibility will be lost. Any future opinion I have will be like, well, yeah, but he gave a mediocre review of the fucking Emoji Movie. Like, can we really take anything that he says seriously ever again? He didn't hate a movie that was mediocre. Oh my god. Oh.
Monkey did nothing wrong.
Monkey did nothing wrong. Monkey did. Let's end it right there. Monkey did nothing wrong.
Yeah.